Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Cinema A to B. Today, Ben and I are going to talk another Guy Ritchie film. This time, it's going to be 2009 Sherlock Holmes. So Ben, as always, get us started off.
I really enjoyed myself on a rewatch of this one. And I think the big takeaway was I had a better appreciation for Jude Law.
Mm-hmm.
Another on a rewatch. Downey Jr. goes without saying. Just is so much fun. I always appreciated Mark Strong in the initial villain role, and I actually think they did well with the villain in the follow up, which was like Game of Shadows. But
yes.
Strong just has his own aura. I've always really liked him. But yeah, Jude Law's Watson is like kind of undervalued, but there's such good chemistry between him and Downey Jr. And like, I almost forget about him in it. Like if I watched it a long time ago, I was like, oh yeah, Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr., right? Like it's, I don't give Jude Law the credit that I think he deserves in this. Cause he, in the comedy, like he's just like the perfect straight man for Sherlock's comedic absurdities.
Antics and comments, yeah. It'll just take it. But that's very typical. Is a lot of times, the straight man doesn't get a lot of credit for the humor guy because everyone's laughing at the humor guy. But without a good straight man, as someone who has played a lot of the straight men to someone else's humor guy, I felt like I didn't get a lot of credit. They all were like, great performance, and like, you just stood there. I'm like, no, you. Like, it actually takes work and, skill to set that up. Like, it's not just you got to make sure that it gets set up to do the joke right or say the line correctly, especially in live theater, But you're right. Jude Law does a fantastic job in this.
Yeah. No, it's the color grade is superb. The opening is super strong. It's just, and here's where I'm going to get a little bit frustrated. I really like this movie, and I really like Guy Ritchie's take on King Arthur. And it followed a really similar formula to this, except for I think they were afraid to like have it be as humorous. And I think that hurt it. But stylistically, he pretty much did a really similar thing. And I really enjoyed that movie. In fact, I didn't really get the hate on that one after I saw it. I didn't see it in theaters. I rented it or something. And I came away going, why did this get crapped all over? I don't quite understand. Like, some of the sequences are really cool. I just don't think the Arthurian
great.
I don't think the Arthurian legend like resonates much anymore. I think it was it was a source material. But the thing with this now though is this has gotten buried by Cumberbatch's Sherlock. Like it's kind of lost there's some recency bias, because I mean this is '09 and then it's 3 or 4 maybe 5 years later you get the BBC doing it in a modernized kind of manner.
I don't even think it was 3 or 4 years. I think it was like
maybe 2 years.
Yeah, like it was pretty soon after when they came out.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not taking anything away from it. I love that series. It's amazing in a very different way. But for Ritchie to be able to breathe life back into a like period correct Sherlock with a very different spin on it, there's a lot of risk taking going on in this movie, like a lot, and they land it. Like it absolutely it made great bank, both in theaters. DVD sales were off the chain good. I don't even think the studio will ever release those numbers, but everybody I knew probably owned a copy of this movie. Yeah, it's a good flick. Like it's just.
I mean, and go ahead. Sorry.
No, you just forget Downey Jr. had a run of stuff like this that wasn't just Iron Man, right? Like, eventually his schedule gets so booked up that all he was pretty much doing was Iron Man. But there was a window early on where his career resurgence, this was another one.
Well, yeah, this is definitely, something to get outside of that. Because, you got to think, Iron Man was only 2008. This came out in '09. Yeah. So you're pretty much, Ritchie's booking him not sight unseen, but basically like, I think you're worth something. You're coming out in a Marvel film. Let's do this. He may have even auditioned for us. I don't know, but it's a gamble, and obviously it paid off. But of course, Downey next to Dick Van Dyke has the best British accent of all time. So, you know.
Well, and I forgot the year before, 08's big for him too because of Tropic Thunder as well. So
yes,
like,
yeah. So
you're become super bankable.
But at this point, you're getting him in a leading role. Like, I mean, yeah, it's kind of a duo between him and, Jude Law, but it's definitely much more.
Oh no, he fronts it. Yeah,
yeah.
His first billing.
He steals the scene. So I really love this film. I'm with you. So I don't know how to say. I prefer the Sherlock TV series, like Cumberbatch's that Sherlock. Like, I like that better for like Sherlock stuff, just because like my first take is the fact that he says that he prefers to text as opposed to call, and I'm like, that's exactly what Sherlock would do. Like, done. But okay, there's small things that I really like, but this is fantastic. And as I was watching this, I was just thinking to myself, going, my goodness, is Ritchie my favorite director? Like, or where, like, he's moving up in notches, if not. Like, I think Nolan is the best. I love Nolan, but like, I love Guy Ritchie films. Like, all of them. I watch them all the time, from Lock, Stock to Snatch to Rock and Rolla. I mean, heck, even Revolver, the much maligned Revolver, but like this, Ministry of Ungentleman Warfare. Like, the guy has hit after hit. I mean, yeah, he's got a couple of, but like, he has more hits than Ridley Scott, especially recently.
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of ways. His top end, I don't think is Ridley Scott, but
no.
Yeah, he's still super consistent. I mean, but really
like,
is.
Kind of like we were talking about between Ridley Scott and Tony Scott, of like, Tony Scott just never hit the highs that Ridley did, but my goodness, he hit the target far more often, and so I think that's where I'm like,
yeah.
And I'm like, and that's how I kind of feel with Ritchie. Is like, nothing is Dark Knight or Inception or Oppenheimer quality level stuff, but my goodness, I enjoy my time watching a Guy Ritchie film pretty much every single time that I watch one, and even on multiple viewings. And it's,
dude, you're right, because The Man from U.N.C.L.'s really good.
It is. I mean, like, you just really go down the list. I mean, again, he has a couple stinkers. It's not like he's flawless. Wrath of Man was a different type. Like, it wasn't his typical kind of,
I watched that. I enjoyed it, but
it wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible.
I like Statham though.
Yeah. So, yeah. but I absolutely adore this film. I love Downey in this. There's so many good quotable lines. The acting is fantastic. I love, like you said, bringing it back to the actual like time that it's supposed to be in. What they do with it. Everyone in this is absolutely just top-notch acting, top-notch character development. Like, everything's fantastic, from like the prison guard to, my goodness, what Rachel McAdams as Irene.
Oh, she's great as Adler.
Yeah, like,
she's really good.
Everything is fantastic. And I love Mark Strong. Mark Strong is when I make my movie, Mark Strong's in it. There's like 4 or 5 like actors that I'm like, you got to be in my movie. I don't even know what it is. I haven't written a line, but when I make my movie, Mark Strong, you're in it, buddy. So keep yourself free, because I just think there's so much that he offers, and he just gets, I don't think he gets typecast, but he gets put in these roles. I honestly think that he could front something. Like, I think Mark Strong could front something and it'd go really well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it matters though now. I mean, whether you make a bunch of money or not, studios don't seem to care. Like, I don't know what the metric is anymore, but it's not always box office.
No, it's not always box office, but
no, yeah, Rachel McAdams is great as Irene Adler, like really, really good. Wouldn't think that on paper prior to seeing this, that she would be able to hold her own up against Downey Jr.'s performance as Sherlock, but she absolutely does.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't really get an idea of how good of an actress Kelly Riley is in this role, but she's very good as Mary.
Yes.
Obviously, she's able to. Now we all know what she's capable of from Yellowstone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's funny, it's unpredictable, it's dark. Like, it's hard to pin this thing down genre-wise. It reminds me a lot, when you start to like segment out all the genres that it's kind of touching on. It reminds me of Ghostbusters. And the reason I say it is because I just rewatched Ghostbusters, the original 84 film, not long ago.
The good one.
And yeah, and it has a little bit of comedy. and a little bit of fantasy and a little bit of horror and a little bit of action, and all those things together, and you get a really special film in Ghostbusters. And this has the same thing: some comedy, some action, some horror, some black magic like elements. You combine it all together, and you have a really highly, highly entertaining film. I think people get caught up in the films they like having to be, not everything can be like an Oppenheimer, or not everything needs to be Schindler's List. And I think if that's the only kinds of films that you're willing to like watch and praise, I find you extremely narrow-minded on how you view cinema. Like, I appreciate those films. I love Saving Private Ryan. I appreciated Schindler's List, movies like that. But every now and again, I want something like Sherlock Holmes. I need that. Like, I don't need it to be, oh, it's so serious and the political social commentary is so strong in this. Like, I don't need that. Sometimes I just want to be entertained.
And that's good art as well. Like, sometimes
it is.
Like this, I mean, this is done so well on so many levels, just like in Oppenheimer, just like Saving Private Ryan. Like, the editing is fantastic, the dialogue, the acting, the production design, the sound design, like everything, like the whole like Sherlock theme that they have going on this is fantastic as well. Like, everything is top notch for this film. But
and it's Hans Zimmer as well, right?
Yeah. But because it is funnier, or because it is this, period piece, it's not a super drama, it gets overlooked as this kind of fluff that, doesn't matter, this popcorn film. I'm like, no, this is important. This, we're talking about storytellers who would tell fantastical stories around the campfire. This is kind of one of those stories. Like, it doesn't always have to be serious. It doesn't always have to be, it could just be for entertainment, just for fun, just for enjoyment, and still be this good. And that's certainly what it is. And granted, this also has, my put in context, but probably my most quoted line ever, though I don't actually quote it verbatim.
Yeah, I know.
But but I mean, like, I always use it for everything. When you'll say this, but I'm gonna say it to the listeners, but it's when Jude Law is first talking to I mean, I do it to you all the time, so like know someone. But Jude Law's talking to him and saying, "Hey, are you doing anything tomorrow night?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "Dinner, my favorite," like blah blah blah. He's like, "All right," and Mary's coming. He's like, "I can't make it." He goes, "You're gonna make it." But then at the end, he's like, "And wear a jacket." He goes, "You wear a jacket."
Yeah.
And I say that like whenever people say things to me, like you could do this, like you do this. You like I quote again. Nobody knows I'm quoting it because I'm not saying you wear a jacket, but it's like, you check your flasks, or you do this, and I'm channeling.
You are channeling
this movie.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I just need to give it appreciation to everyone knows that, like, okay, if I respond to something that you've said with me saying it back to you and just saying you do this, I'm channeling Sherlock Holmes.
But see, if it's not that, it's your mom goes to college.
Yeah, your mom goes to college. Yeah, that's also it.
No, what I appreciate is the ability for this. I mean, this is what you said, 2000.
Yeah, 2009.
Sherlock Holmes was created in 1887. So I have a huge appreciation for a movie that breathes so much new life into content that's that old. Because eventually this stuff potentially can age out. I mean, it just can. Like, whatever the commentary is, the style it's written in, the way the characters are, like, some of this stuff sometimes can age out and it gets lost. It's not that it disappears, it just becomes obscure again. And so, like, pretty impressive to me that this film and the BBC series, which threw it in the modern day, were able to like take the source material, stay faithful to it, make it more interesting for a modern audience. That's really cool.
Well, and one of the great things, too, is they use so much dialogue from the actual stories in it for what Sherlock says, like the game is afoot, like the things he talks when he tells that he likes Watson because he's quiet or something. I forget the exact quote. But like, these are things that are actually written by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle in his stories, right? That they've pulled out. And it still works. Like, it still fits. And so, like, I completely agree with you that it's few things that really can transcend. Now, did they put a different, a nice little spin on it? Even with this film, did they modernize him, him a little bit? Sure. But they didn't have to do too much. Like, he's still, one, I love the fact that when he comes in, he's doing the whole fly thing with the atonal notes or whatever. And Jude Law's over there, like, with the he's like, this is used for eye surgery, which is with basically cocaine. Like, they'd actually like apply directly, topically apply cocaine. And of course, Sherlock Holmes did cocaine in the novels or in the stories and stuff like that. So, like, it's fun to kind of have these little notes that are kind of still honored, even though we are, changing things up.
It checks all the boxes.
It does
for like great entertainment.
It does. And
yeah.
Go ahead. No.
I think the production design is top notch. I think the art direction, it did get nominated for an Academy Award for art direction as well. And my tendency is to give credit to the color grade, but the reality is, like, and I don't know if I've ever mentioned this, about 80 or 90% of a film's look is like already established by the art direction, production design, costuming, like sets. Like it's the last like 10% that, or maybe 15% that a colorist can actually like add to the image. John Wick is largely looks like John Wick in camera. Like it wasn't all the different colored lighting and stuff. It's that's how they lit that film. And so the colorist gets like probably a little more credit than they might deserve. But the same's true of this movie. Like it's got a very distinct look to it. And the color grade is very nice. I do like the fact that it's still an era where it's shot on 35 millimeter film. I think it would be. I think I would knock a few points off if they had made the decision to shoot it digitally, given that it's a period piece. I don't like.
They did on Game of Shadows, didn't they? Wasn't that digitally?
Probably was.
Yeah.
And you'll notice that film has a more digital look to it too.
Mm-hmm.
And I like Game of Shadows. It's not as good as this, and the pacing's got some problems.
Though it does have one of Laura's favorite moments in cinema, that every time she watches and even thinks about it, she cackles, is when he rides the mini horse.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. She just loses it. It's the best.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
It is good. And the action sequences are more impressive in the sequel. Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of Game of Shots, one thing I did notice, because I watched this on Netflix, was that they changed the voice of Moriarty
to Jared Harris.
To Jared Harris, like they had him redub lines, because he was not the original voice. No, because I looked it up because I was like, did they know it was going to be Jared Harris? Why didn't they show his face then? Like, because they did the whole thing, and then I read about it and it was like, no, it was someone else. But when Game of Shadows came out, they redid it. Yeah.
I wondered. I was like, I kind of was like, I don't remember it being recognizable as Jared Harris. So
yeah.
So that there wasn't a Mandela effect there. They actually did go back.
They actually did go back. Yeah, we are not crazy. Well, at least the thing I read on the internet said that. So, like,
must be true.
Must be true.
Must be true.
So one thing I really like, so this is, it's kind of a typical Guy Ritchie thing, but I think it does really work in Sherlock for specific reasons of just how intelligent Sherlock is. But when he does the whole, like, plans out the fight or plans out what he's going to do, and then it happens, or when they show you, like, especially when Adler comes to see him first or whatever, and then he jumps out the window and, like, bumps into the thing where you see Adler's side and then you see his side of things. That's a very normal, like, Guy Ritchie thing. When, like, Snatch had it, I'm thinking, like, The Gentleman, like, not The Gentleman, Rock and Roll, like a lot of his films do that kind of thing. But it works so well with this character because to see how quickly he moves and how he thinks and how he processes stuff and how he can easily go from looking like Sherlock to looking like a street urchin, by just picking up random things as he's going, like a piece of bread to stick in his mouth, or whatever. And it's fantastic. Like, just.
Yeah, that is a Ritchie thing, isn't it? Giving you two perspectives of the same course of events.
Yeah. And the first perspective is very much, you miss the main stuff. Like
right
at the end where Statham is thinking he's about to get shot and it freezes with a gunshot, but then it, you turn around and you see
everybody's scared except for the pikey. Yeah. Well, why is that?
And then you see that, like, again, it's a very Guy Ritchie, but it does work so well in Sherlock Holmes because of just his ability to kind of plan ahead. And of course, I do really like the whole when he gets taken to the Masonic Lodge, and they're like, "I'm sorry that we had to do this. We just, you're probably wondering where you're at." He's like, "I was really like, was really confused until we hit that bump right at the corner of blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah." And then he just, walks on through the process like, oh, he was never actually unsure of where he was, right. He knew from the beginning, which is actually like very Sherlock thing. Like Sherlock could be dropped anywhere in London and knew exactly what where he was, how to get home, where, stuff was. Like he was very knowledgeable of the London streets.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you, when I was in graduate school, which was film school for me, Guy Ritchie, there was a couple of us that we felt like he was the one that stood out as pushing the art form forward.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were really too young for Tarantino to be that for us. Because I mean, Tarantino's 94, 95 with Pulp Fiction. Yeah. Whereas, these movies like Snatch,
Lock, Stock are all
2000, 2001. So it's especially with some of his editing techniques that he brought from the music video world into feature filmmaking. There's other directors that had done it as well, but he really, I always go back to that opening sequence for Snatch once they reveal that they're robbers, and he's manipulating the film, pivoting it. It was not an in-camera move.
Yeah,
it was actually the frame. Sorry, I've got a dog that's bugging the crap out of me.
Yeah, apparently. But yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that the big problem, well, one of his big problems is he married Madonna, but that's beside the point.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that really derailed him. But I think one of the other things too was, as much as I really enjoyed it, his films do follow a pattern. There is definitely a, you could tell a Guy Ritchie film, it's going to do this, it's going to do this, and there's going to be kind of some big reveal at the end that shows what you just saw, why it came out that way or whatever, which is fun. It's enjoyable. I really like it, but it's, you get it from even in the movie The Gentleman that came out 5-6 years ago or something like that, it does the same thing where it's, you see a thing happen and you're like, oh my goodness, and then it turns out what you just saw was didn't actually go out like that, and here are the reasons why, and from the different perspectives. But it still works. It still makes me happy. I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun, and Sherlock is just, Downey as Sherlock is perfect. He has just that right amount of pride, definitely, but more of the overconfidence in his own self-worth and self-knowledge and all that stuff that is just, it's wonderful.
I love how good of a fighter Guy Ritchie's Sherlock Holmes is. I mean, legit.
Yeah.
And uses it as a vehicle to vent his frustrations too. Just ends up bare knuckle boxing.
Yeah.
That guy.
Well, I love that he bets on himself too.
Destroying him. Oh yeah. Yeah.
As he should. And I don't remember this from in the books of Watson being a gambler, but I think that is accurate, but I don't quite remember it. But I do, no matter what, I do love that Holmes doesn't miss a chance to kind of rib Watson about losing the rent money, or I have your winnings here. I'll hold them onto them for you. So
the whole dynamic of the fact that Sherlock is deathly afraid of Watson moving out and marrying this woman is hysterical to me. The bromance is the real deal. And yeah, that scene where he thinks that he's reading Mary and who she is to a T, and he gets it all right except for maybe the most important aspect.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a wonderful dynamic. It's totally a period piece buddy cop movie. It shares a lot of that, of some of the great banter from the Lethal Weapon movies are totally, you can kind of feel that in this, and it works. It totally works.
I just need Jude Law to say, I'm too old for this.
Oh yeah, I'm too old for this. By the way, Glover was like 41 or something in the first one.
I was like, oh no.
And I'm like, dang, man. Yeah, this is such a mix of genres. That, and I'd like to see more of this stuff that doesn't try to be just, the best of one genre, that's comfortable kind of picking and choosing from a couple different ones. Make me laugh a little bit. Maybe some creepy stuff now and again. I mean, I think all of the occult stuff is extremely well done. It's like interesting and creepy and edgy, and like you kind of, because it's a Sherlock Holmes film, you're like kind of in the back of your mind's like, yeah, this guy, there's no way this guy's actually like a master of magic, but how is he doing this stuff? So yeah, it felt authentic. Like it feels like Sherlock Holmes while adding a bunch of new stuff. And yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get a new take on this stuff anytime soon.
Yeah. Or if it's going to be a period piece, or they're going to continue doing modern stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. I always thought we were going to get a third. I always thought we were going to get a third one of these. Hound of the Baskervilles was kind of rumored to be what they were kind of thinking for a third entry, but it just never materialized, and I'm not really sure why.
Yeah.
I don't know if Game of Shadows didn't make quite as much money as it needed to. I know the budget was quite a bit bigger.
Yeah. Well, because in 2011, Mr. Robert Downey Jr. can ask, basically.
Was he close to 20 mil? Or
I mean, I don't actually know, but I'm pretty sure he's asking for a lot, because at that point.
I was gonna say this is estimated at 90 mil and made over $500 million worldwide. And I don't know what Game of Shadows.
Game of Shadows was 125 million estimated. Worldwide gross was half a mil, but only did 186 million in the U.S. and Canada. So
this only did 209.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't. It did well, but it wasn't like a runaway hit in the U.S. It definitely performed better and I'm guessing it probably performed better in Europe.
Yeah.
Just as a whole.
Yeah, you think you put about 35 million more dollars into it, and you barely made $20 more million. I'm sure a lot of that 35 million went to Downey.
Yeah. I mean, so even with that, I'm very surprised that a third film never took shape, and maybe the MCU took care of that, and he was just never available to shoot.
Yeah, because you got Avengers right after that, and then Iron Man 3 followed up with that. And at that point, he's showing up in almost every other Marvel film.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, IMDb does actually have a Sherlock Holmes 3 poster and thing. It has no information. Oh, yeah. It says filming almost took place at the end of 2016, but Downey wasn't able due to his commitment to the Marvel franchise. But it wasn't going to be Ritchie. It was going to be directed by Dexter Fletcher. Interesting. The guy from Band of Brothers, one of the sergeants.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Who directed a couple episodes of The Offer. All right. Well, we just want to say thank you to everybody who's listening and watching this. We really appreciate it. We love doing this, and it really makes us happy that people get enjoyment from our conversations. So we're going to be getting here next week with another episode of Cinema A to B.